pick of Charlie Appleby's 2 runners.
Masterpiece, the 8, 21 to 1, comes in from Southern California. Tyler Gaffalione looking for Breeders' Cup win number 2 on the day, and Michael McCarthy puts the tack on this one, 21 to 1. The 9 Gold Phoenix also comes in from California, beat Masterpiece, I should say, in the Del Mar Handicap. Gets a lot tougher here today. He's 31 to 1. 10 Red Knight for Mike Maker, put together a 2-race win streak, loves the distance. Again, it gets much, much deeper here. That's the theme with the North American runners, Rishi. Just gets a whole lot deeper here.
11 is Mishriff. For my money, he's the horse with the best form in the race. Concerned a little bit about how he's sweating up. Tony Proctor, who's the travelling head lad for John Gosden, is there to supervise proceedings.
The Brazilian runner, Nautilus, US debut here for Paulo Lobo. Distance shouldn't be a problem. By a Belmont Stakes winner, out of a mare who was by a Belmont Stakes winner. 13 Highland Chief won the Sycamore here in the middle of the Keeneland Fall meet and did well to get the victory that day. It gets, again, the common theme, much, much tougher here for Highland Chief.
And that is your field that will contest the Longines Breeders' Cup Turf. You're watching and listening to the Breeders' Cup Players Show. We continue on with the field warming up for the Longines Breeders' Cup Turf. And Simon, you've been looking at the DRF formulator again. What'd you come up with on Nation's Pride?
Well, nothing much out of the obvious here, really. Charlie Appleby and jockey Willem Buick, 5 for their last 6. With older 3-year-olds and up turf routers in North America. So 5 for 6 when they bring horses 3-year-old and up to turf American routes. Pretty impressive. They had a bad year last year when they shipped it to North America.
He's just getting better and better. He knows what he wants to bring. He knows the type of horse that he wants to bring. He's obviously got a lot to choose from, in fairness, but the ones that he picks, they do the job. It's obvious. The stats say it.
Aidan O'Brien's been picking some good ones too. For more on that story, Gabby Gaudet.
Aidan, you were just looking at your horses on the track. What are you observing?
Yeah, no, they seem to be fine. Obviously, none of ours have a pony with them, but they seem to be fine, so hopefully they will be.
In terms of Stone Age, what do you think the best kind of trip for him is, as he's a little bit of a long shot?
Yeah, we think this trip is going to suit him. We think the ground and the track will suit him. He gets a mile and a quarter very well in our part of the world, and mile and a half, tough mile and a half with soft ground is probably far enough for him, but I think on this ground it should suit him well.
In terms of Broome, how do you compare and contrast how he's coming into this Breeders' Cup versus last year's?
Yeah, we think we have him in a very good place, and we're very happy with his work the last 3 weeks, and we think he's in a really good place.
Thank you for the time. Good luck.
Pleasure. Thank you.
As we've been talking about, it is just an accomplishment to make it to the Breeders' Cup. So 3 Chimneys would like to have some cheers to the breeders here represented in the Longines Breeders' Cup Turf. We are 4 minutes away, and the wagering menu that you'll find on this 10th race at Keeneland, the next to last race of the championship races for the Breeders' Cup. Win, play, show, exacta, trifecta, superfecta, super high 5 wagering, and then horizontally speaking, daily double and a pick 3. As far as selections in this race, you can see Christina and Simon agree, but Simon, this was put in before you could even watch the horses in the paddock.
Correct. This was put in like 3 days ago.
Okay, so taking into account what you watched here with Mishriff, and this horse has climbed since you guys pointed out what we were seeing in the paddock. Kate and Bradar pointed out as well to 7 to 1. Would you like to abandon that selection?
Yeah, that's a little bit of a cause for concern for me, and I'll echo what Richie said. It's not like the horse is losing physically on his toes and that, but was very warm in the paddock. Now, the flip side of that, he's got out there, he's got the rider on his back, and he seems to have calmed down and dried off a lot more.
And speaking of the rider on his back, I think this is a really important point to make. John Gosden said it earlier in the week, but Frankie Dettori has also said it. He's been desperate to get Mishriff a shot at the Breeders' Cup Turf. Frankie Dettori has been purposefully pestering John Gosden all year long about getting this horse in this race. And Frankie rode the horse as a 3-year-old a couple of times, but he's hardly seen him other than watching him gallop around John Gosden's place in Newmarket, because of course David Egan used to be the principal rider for the owner. Then that relationship ended and James Doyle got on board. Colin Keane's ridden him since, but Frankie's back on board. He has one on this horse, so I think he's an interesting contender for just that. The other thing, I made this point to Simon and to one or two other people, that if this race was just being done handicapping the European horses, Mishriff, I think, would probably just be about favourite.
Oh, for sure, on form. Yeah, I think so.
Here's the horse I'm not hearing enough from you guys about. That is Broom. Because if you want to go back and look at last year's Breeders' Cup Turf, how did he lose? Like, at Turning for Home, he looked like he was gone from that field at 9-1. So why are we dismissing Broom this time around?
Well, is the year bear form? I mean, I wouldn't say that's as good as some of Mishriff's form, right?
I don't think it's as good as some of Mishriff's form, but I think it was a very good run. The other run that I'm not dismissing him, actually.
Okay.
He's my other play in the race. Those are the two horses that I have played. I've played Mishriff and Broom. Broom, obviously, you mentioned the run last year. The other run at Ascot, when he won the Hardwick Stakes, yes, he was given a brilliant ride by Ryan Moore. I also like the fact that Irod Ortiz is back on him. He knows him, obviously, from last year's race, and I think it's significant when I think that he's a better chance than Stone Age, that Irod Ortiz is on Broom and Ryan Moore's on Stone Age.
Yeah, good point.
The field is being called towards the starting gate by track bugler Steve Buttleman. They will be moving into line for the Longines Breeders' Cup Turf. America's Best Hope is almost our favorite. That is the 2 Warlike Goddess. But it sounds like you're not going to be raising the American flag on this one.
No, I went 3 deep in here. I was 2 and...
in order of preference?
No, in order of preference.
What are they?
The 11.
Let me just hold on a second. Let me just check there.
That's Mishriff.
Okay, so that horse isn't from around here from what I understand.
No,
Okay,
but I'm
keep
just
going.
saying, I'm giving you my picks in order of preference.
Okay, so again, not an American horse. Go ahead.
Right, the 2.
An American horse. Okay.
Warlike Goddess.
Okay.
And then I'm going to throw the 7 in there. Nation's Pride, who is probably, I don't know, got to take a big step forward. What do you think, Rishi? I mean, I've liked the races. He's a 3-year-old. He's taken on older horses. He's done that before, but against much weaker competition in Dubai. But I think he's an improving 3-year-old.
He is definitely an improving 3-year-old, but nothing in his form matches the best of what Mishriff has achieved, and including those couple of runs this season from Mishriff that I suggested. And I know, Todd, during the week, talking about Mishriff and whether he's as good as he was this year as he was last year. Last year, it was an outstanding year. Very few horses that have ever existed on this planet achieved what Mishriff did in 2021. So,
but isn't it fair to be skeptical and say maybe that led to the 0 for 6 this year?
Yeah, fair point. He was very unlucky at Sandown. He should have won. With a clean run, he would have won. And I know that's the game. That's the game. And he ran really well at Ascot. And I still think, I rule out his last run. If you put a scratch through the last run, which doesn't really count, and you bring him here off the back of his runs at Ascot and in the Irish Champion Stakes, you say, this horse should be shorter in the market, should be a shorter price than he is.
Hey, what he's saying, I'll translate.
No, I've heard it.
No, I'll translate it.
I've heard it. Go ahead.
So we're throwing out the arc.
All right.
But what he's
so
saying,
you're mansplaining for Rishi?
yeah,
That's what I'm
because you're not
okay.
getting it. Here's what I'm saying. What Rishi's saying is the 4th, 2nd, and 3rd place finishers would win this race.
Yes.
Correct?
Correct.
But they're not here. And what I'm saying to you is the campaign took so much out of him last year. He's getting washed out here in the paddock. It's time for the end of his career. And regardless of whether or not he can think this race, I hope that people appreciate what they're seeing, that Mishriff came here for this final start of his career. It is a privilege here in America that we get to see a European champion like Mishriff call his career here in the Breeders' Cup. Whether he wins or not, to me, is immaterial. Handicapping wise, do I think he could beat? Yeah. But the fact that we get to see him one more time, and it's here in the States, this is what the Breeders' Cup is all about.
And he's not 5-2. He's 7-1 right now, which the price is healthy.
Let's go up to track announcer Kurt Becker. It is the Longines Breeders' Cup Turf, the final start for the amazing Mishriff, breaking from post position number 11. Don't cheer too wildly. First time by the finish line. They're coming back round again. 3 turns to victory in the 2022 Longines Breeders' Cup Turf.
One more.
They are at the post. And they're off in the Longines Breeders' Cup Turf. There goes Bye Bye Melvin out for the lead. Masterpiece is there in the opening strides. Channelmaker up close as well. Moves up into third. Now takes second as they head onto that far turn for the first time. Stone Age is away down toward the inside in fourth. Nation's Pride is fifth. Warlike Goddess is sixth. Gold Phoenix seventh. Highland Chief out in the center of the course moves up from eighth. Rebels Romance toward the inside is in ninth. Red Knight is a wide 10th as they move around the turn. Broom is back toward the rail in 11th position. Mishriff is in 12th, and Nautilus is last of the 13. Back up front, Bye Bye Melvin shows the way early, and here's Channelmaker moving up to the outside just a length off the lead. A gap of two more back to Stone Age in third. That opening quarter went in 24.91 seconds. Bye Bye Melvin the leader. Channelmaker, Stone Age, and then Masterpiece against the rail now in fourth ahead. Highland Chief between horses in fifth. Red Knight sixth. Nation's Pride a lane off the rail in seventh as they head to the second of three turns. The opening half mile went in 49.42 seconds. Gold Phoenix is in the eighth position. Warlike Goddess back toward the rail. She travels in ninth. She's 7 lengths off the lead and is followed by Rebels Romance in 10th. Mishriff is wide around the turn in the 11th position, and then Broom and Nautilus at the back. Bye Bye Melvin the leader. Onto the backstretch once again. Bye Bye Melvin on top shows the way by a length. Channelmaker second, a length. Highland Chief under a snug hold between horses in third. Now moves up within a length and a half of the lead. Channelmaker starts to draw alongside of Bye Bye Melvin. That's the lead battle, midpoint of the backstretch. Red Knight is out in the center of the course. In third by just ahead. Highland Chief is there between horses. Moves back up one spot from fourth. Then Stone Age is fifth toward the inside. Nation's Pride is in sixth. In between horses, running nearly 5 from the front. Masterpiece, Gold Phoenix. Rebels Romance 7 from the lead. They're on to the final turn now. Channelmaker from the outside challenging Bye Bye Melvin. These two going at it. Bye Bye Melvin leads it by just ahead. Length and a half to Stone Age, who's in third. Now starts to look for more running room. Red Knight is in fourth. Masterpiece in fifth. Rebels Romance has to go to the center of the course with Mishriff and Gold Phoenix as they swing off the far turn. Rebels Romance and Mishriff and Stone Age all coming forward. Warlike Goddess going to dive to the inside. Rebels Romance has the lead. Warlike Goddess to the inside in second. Rebels Romance on top by 2. Rebels Romance, James Doyle win the Breeders' Cup Turf. Stone Age second. Warlike Goddess across the line in third. 2 minutes, 26.35 seconds. That's a course record.
What a dramatic finish here, but when it looked like they were lining up at the top of the stretch, all of a sudden Rebels Romance broke away from this field and won clear.
That's a mightily impressive performance from a horse who at one time, Todd, was being geared up for a crack at the Belmont Stakes on dirt, being geared up for a crack at the Dubai World Cup on dirt. Charlie Appleby's had to switch tack, take him back to Europe, run him on turf, and the horse has got better and better and better with every start, and a landmark success for James Doyle, who won his first classic in Europe early this year on Caribus in the 2000